how can you bring yourself to the decision as a leader to go to a war that you know will inflict more casualties in its first weeks than both world wars put together in years of war? So, in the study I conducted, that's really been the theme of my thinking about strategy, and towards which the West has gradually evolved, namely that you really cannot use nuclear weapons as an ordinary element of strategy, as a last resort. Well, yes, in theory. But in other countries that are emerging are relying on nuclear weapons in the crude version, an even cruder version than existed in the West 60 years ago. And the problem is compounded by the fact that the Soviet Union interpretation of nuclear weapons, however it started, once you study the issue, you become convinced that you have to start by protecting the weapons, you have to start avoiding getting triggered into war by miscommunication. And with the existing nuclear superpowers can't say they have mastered it, but they're pretty far down the road of protecting their weapons. The new states that are emerging will be in no position to protect their weapons by defensive measures. And therefore they will have an enormous incentive to preempt that when they think they're being attacked, or even when they know that if they can get the first strike in, they have a huge advantage. So when you make then two considerations, you would say Iran gets nuclear weapons, whatever its intentions. Several other countries in the region will almost certainly develop nuclear weapons on their own. They will then, vis-à-vis each other and vis-à-vis Iran, be in the position that I described of having strong offensive capabilities, at least destructive offensive capabilities, and very weak defensive capabilities. It will be a much more volatile world, and one which has the danger that nuclear weapons become conventional and that tremendous casualties will occur. We think of 9/11 as a grave day, but only 3,000 people were killed and there were no wounded. Imagine an attack where 50,000 people get killed and an equal number get wounded. And that's what would happen if cities are attacked, even with Nagasaki-type weapons, not to speak of the larger weapons. So this continuity between the nuclear establishments of the superpowers and the emerging nuclear establishments of other powers is a huge challenge. And then when you compound it with an ideology that claims that it is pursuing some divine commandment, then you have a very dangerous situation emerging.